I'm your host, Tony T. As we broadcast live here on Pick Dawgz and Sports Chat Place YouTube channel throughout social media. We'll get you out of here before the top of the hour. Give you guys enough time to get those bets in for the primetime games. And that's what we do here on the drive-thru Monday through Friday at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. Deliver live free picks for the games beginning at 7 p.m. Eastern Time and later. And deliver those winners, our professional handicappers over at Pick Dawgz and Sports Chat Place. Let's beat the cappers and get right to the picks because we don't mess around here on the drive-thru. Let's say hello to Kevin. Kevin, what's happening?
Tony, I'm doing great. We're winning. That's always a great thing when you're winning. College basketball has been very good to me. We just got to get this NBA figured out. It's like a roller coaster. Every time you think you got the right pick, and then you watch, and the guy that you were expecting to be in there is sitting on the bench. It's just a heartbreaker. But we're going to get this thing figured out, so just bear down with us.
Absolutely.
Bear down with me.
Kevin there. Let's say hello to Rod. Rod, what's happening?
Yeah, not too much. Can't complain. It was a 3-3 day. I put a couple places in there. I took a couple shots on a dog. I took Hampton as a money long outright dog. They lost by 1. Oh, I had to lead most of that game and lost by 1. So it's one of those you got to take a shot on the outright dogs every once in a while, and that one got me. So I'll take it there. And then I had the Sharks in the on the NHL slate. They pushed it to overtime with Montreal, and Montreal popped that goal in overtime. Hey, this is a message. Yeah, you can be right there as you go and. Just lose it out late. Good old 3-on-3 hockey. It happens. Those were the couple dogs that got me. 2 big dogs would have turned the day around. But 3-on-3 day. Can't complain about the week. Look at the week I'm having. Let's continue into the weekend and crush it.
Very good. Let's say hello to Kirk. Kirk, what's going on?
Not much. 3 soccer plays for me early, 2+ money winners. So feeling pretty good. I think it's something about the pick Dawgz hat. I'm 3-0. I have 3 straight winning days with the hat. So. I can't take it off. I sleep with it. It's
can't take it off.
Keep it on. Don't change a thing. That's.
Go sleep with it. Eat with it.
Absolutely. Let's say hello to Javon. Javon, what's going on?
Yeah, what's going on? Just waiting for another big weekend for college basketball. Not too many left.
That's right.
Gotta savor it. While the game's good.
That's true because we're going to start eliminating teams here by Sunday because we've got the A-Sun tournament starting. So we'll start eliminating teams, and that tips it away. So let's get underway here, guys, with the show. We'll start with the NBA here on to open it up here. NBA 10-game card tonight here for Friday. So let's get on with it here as we get started with it. We'll take 3 in this first block. We've got Nuggets and Pistons here. Pistons a point favorite, total 240, and now we got Thunder and Hawks. Thunder here at 12-point road favorite, total 245.5. Cavs and Celtics. Game of the night here. Celtics coming down here to 1.5, total 234.5. Let's take a look at the injuries here as we look at this game between Denver and Detroit. We've got Concard and Watson now. Gordon is questionable. Murray probable. Denver on the back-to-back here. Detroit, no Ivy. We know with that broken leg, he's going to be out for a while. Tulu Smith out. Schroeder and Fontecchio are now probable. OKC and Atlanta. We've got Caruso, Dang, and Mitchell out for OKC. Krejci and Lance are out. Trae Young is officially in the lineup here for Atlanta after sitting probable for most of the morning. Cleveland and Boston. Cleveland, a clean injury report. On the Boston side, no Holiday nor Porzingis. Those 2 out for Boston. So we get this one underway here with Kirk.
Yeah, I don't think it matters that Porzingis and Holiday are out. I think they still win this game. This is a big game for the Celtics at home. They don't want to give Cleveland that top spot. I mean, that Cleveland's going to get the top spot, but they don't want to give Cleveland the satisfaction of being, we beat Boston in Boston. So I think Celtics, Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum really step up for this game, and the Celtics end up winning this. I think you can take the spread at -1.5. They probably win by 5 to 7. And Pistons Nuggets, I mean, the Pistons are on a 7-game win streak, but I don't know who's stopping Jokic on that Pistons team. So it's a no bet for me. And Hawks Thunder, I feel like the line is right where it should be at 12.5. So it's a pass for me as well. Maybe a lean towards the over because Atlanta plays no defense and it's a quick offensive team. But 245 is pretty steep as well. So it's probably a no bet for me as well.
From Kirk. Next up, we move right on over to Rod.
Yeah, look at that one. I like the over in that one. OKC in Atlanta. You look at the Thunder's last 7 games as a favorite against the Hawks. I went over the total, so I think we cruise into the 250s. As you alluded to, no defense being played. Exactly. Take the over 245.5 there in that matchup. And then another one, looking at the Pistons and the Nuggets. I'm going to take the under with a lean to the Nuggets there in that one. Even on the back-to-back, I expect a lower scoring game in that one. 239.5. Too many of the last 4 on the road for the Nuggets have all went under the total. So give me the under there in that matchup. Couple I like there.
From Rod, up next we got Kevin.
Yeah, I'm looking at Oklahoma, Atlanta. Oklahoma just got the Nets covered against them, but that was their first game on the East Coast. Now they're adjusted, so I think this line might be a little small. I think Oklahoma pounces on Atlanta here. Give me Oklahoma laying all the points. And I like Cleveland. The last time they played 105-112, Cleveland lost that game, but they added Hunter since then. And I think that's enough to get this win. I like what he's doing. I think they needed a forward in that position, and I think the starting 5 can beat Boston pretty easily here.
From Kevin. Next up, we move right on over to Javon.
Yeah, I'm on the other side. I'm on the Atlanta Hawks. This is just too many points as far as I'm concerned. These inflated prices, yeah, I know that OKC has been covering them, but in these type of spots, and you see it and you saw it with the Nets, they're gonna play with their food. They're gonna not to say play down their competition, but they're not gonna take these lesser teams seriously. And then third, fourth quarter they get in the gear and just miss out on these these point spreads. Plus Atlanta, with Trae Young in the fold and some newer pieces on there, mixed in with the the other talent that they have, I think they'll give the OKC Thunder just enough problems to cover this spread.
From Javon, tell you what I think here about these games here. I'm going to go with Detroit. Big win streak here for this Pistons team. What 8 straight they've done here. You look here, Denver, and in this spot they will be rest disadvantage here. Pistons here rested here. Denver 4-9 on the road against the East. Pistons 10-2 the spread at home against winning teams. I'll look at the Detroit Pistons in that spot. Cavs in Boston. Yeah, I'll look at the Cavs in this spot. Celtics as a home favorite, just 11-17. But man, it's hard to look at this Cavaliers form of late here. Their past 5 on the road, averaging 123 points per 100 possessions, a plus 18 net rating on the road against winning teams. The Cavs 8-3 the spread here. I'll look at them in that spot. And we're looking at Atlanta and OKC. I'm going to take the points here with Atlanta. As a home dog, the Hawks 8-5 here to the spread. And Thunder has failed to cover 5 of 6. We might be seeing a little bit of slowdown from this OKC team of late here as we're kind of getting down to the final, 6 weeks regular season. I think we were talking about earlier. I think April 11th is the last day of the NBA season. So that's not too far away. That's about 6 weeks away. And I think this OKC team may be gearing down a little bit. Again, they've had some struggles here. Choking that game against Minnesota. Had that game against Brooklyn where they couldn't separate. Atlanta's in good shooting form. I like the points there in that one. All right, let's continue here on the drive-thru as we continue with the next series of games here from this 10-game card. Up next, we got Blazers and Nets. Portland on the road, 2, total 220. Pacers and Heat at Indiana, 3.5 on the road, total 224. Knicks and Grizzlies. Grizzlies up now to 4, total 243.5. So let's take a look at the injury report here for these games. Portland and Brooklyn. Boy, it's a big one here for Brooklyn, here for Portland, I should say. No Avija, no Aiton, no Grant, no Minaya, no Thibault, no Williams there for Portland. On the Brooklyn side, Clowney, Russell, and Whitehead are out. As we take a look at Indiana and Miami, Mathurin is out now for Indiana. He just hits the injury report. That's a big loss there because he's definitely a contributor offensively. So Mathurin out. McConnell questionable for Indiana. On the Miami side, no Jovic. Wiggins questionable. Adebayo questionable there for Miami. Knicks and Grizzlies. On the Knicks side, no Porty. Towns, Robinson, Hart are all questionable. On the Memphis side, pulling out Bain, Gigi Jackson questionable. So there you are with these injuries here at this 8 Eastern hour time. So we get this block underway here with Kirk.
Yeah, I'm on the Trailblazers here. They've quietly been one of the best teams in the last 2 months, and they just seem like they're having fun time playing basketball. Those guys over there, which at some point is just important. Brooklyn looks like they don't know yet if they want to tank or not. So I think Trailblazers get the job done here. I mean, just a lot of young guys really just playing basketball, and I think the Trailblazers here are a good spot. And the other two games I'm not really in love with here, so I'm going to stick to the Blazers in this time slot.
Yeah, I think the Nets want to tank, but the players don't have the script, though. That's the problem.
Yeah.
That's what's going on there. On over to Rod. You're on mute there, Rod.
They definitely don't have the script. Nobody got the memo saying we're supposed to tank yet, because both cams are in the lineup there for the Nets, and that one I'll take the Nets on the money line on that one. The list is too much for the Portland Trailblazers. They have been playing good ball, but that's quite the list of guys being out there. And the Nets still haven't got the memo, as we alluded to. No tanking there. They just keep winning. I think they do again there. And the other one I'm looking at, I'll take the Knicks plus the 4 in that matchup. I know you're still dealing with some guys that might not play in this game, but I think that line would be a little bit higher if both of those guys, if Towns and Hart, are going to be out for the Knicks in that one. That thing would have dropped up a little bit. But then you're dealing with Memphis dealing with some injuries. So over a possession in this game, I'll take the Knicks, who whooped it up on the Grizzlies last time out as well. So it'd be tough. Memphis dealing with those guys out to get their payback. Like, of course they want the revenge, but can they get it there? I don't think so. Give me the Knicks there in that one.
From Rod, next up on over to Kevin.
Portland Nets game. I'm looking at Day'Ron Sharp over 17.5 points, rebounds, and assists. His last game, he went 25 points, 15 rebounds, 5 assists. We're seeing what he can do when he gets the minutes. I think he played 31 minutes against the Thunder. Now, do they hold him back so they can tank this game? It's yet to be seen, but I think 17.5 is a little low, especially for some of the injuries to Portland's bigs. And then I like Portland. I know they're missing a player or two, but I just think they're the complete package. They're the unsung hero because they really don't have a ton of superstars, but they have a bunch of great players that can run the court. Miami, just too many inconsistencies in that bench. Is it going to be Robinson? You never know. Duncan. You never know who's going to be the guy off the bench. So give me Indiana.
From Kevin, next up we move on over to Javon.
Yeah, I'm gonna be on the Miami Heat in this one. And these are really the spots that I faded them, as home dogs. But, it's just a situation where I saw what they did in that second game against the Heat. Against the Hawks rather, and I did like what I saw. Now they do have some pieces there. Don't know if Bam Adebayo is gonna play, but that's neither here nor there. I like Andrew Wiggins mixed into the with this bunch. Tyler Hero, he go off at a moment's notice, and I just looking at this personnel for both teams. I think this is a spot where Miami could hit some of their threes. With the guys that they have on here, even though they haven't been in good form overall offensively. So I'll take a shot at this home dog.
There from Javon, to tell you what I think here about these games here. Yeah, I'm going to look up Portland and Brooklyn. Both teams in very good defensive form coming in here. And when you look at Portland, they're 3-1 in the under on the road, facing teams that average 108 points per game or fewer. Nets in consecutive home games, 12-3 of the under. So I'll look at the under there. Portland and Brooklyn, both teams in good defensive form. The trends match as well to the form. So I like the under in that spot. Knicks and Grizzlies, I'm going to stay away from that. I prefer Grizzlies with one possession or fewer. I'm not going to go over a possession there on either side. Stay away from me on that one. And Indiana and Miami, I could agree with Javon here. I'm going to look at Miami here plus the points. Heat won here. Heat has covered 3 of 4 at home against these bad rebounding teams. Pacers not a very good rebounding team. The Heat should have their way around the glass. I don't trust the Pacers on the road. Just 1-4 of the spread in their past 5 away from home. And the Heat here have been shooting the ball pretty well, 47% shooting over their past 5. I'll look at the Heat in this spot. Let's continue here on the drive-thru as we get ready here for the next series of games. We'll close out the NBA with the final 4 games on this schedule. They will be Raptors and Bulls. We've got the Bulls now 2.5. Total sits 232.5. This one's moved up a bit. Suns and the Pelicans. Look at this. Suns now 9 in this one. Total 229. Timberwolves and Jazz. T-Wolves on the road 4.5 now. Total 226. And the late night game, Battle of LA. Clippers and Lakers. Clippers 4. total 220. Let's take a look at the injury report. I have a feeling I need to refresh this one, see what we got here in these final games on the slate here. Toronto and Chicago battle. Ingram and Temple are out. Scotty Barnes still listed as questionable. On the Bulls side, Vucevic and Williams are out. DeSunmo still questionable there. New Orleans and Phoenix. Well, as we thought, Zion will be out in this game. McCollum also out. Boston out there for New Orleans. On the Phoenix side, no Beal, no Martin. Grayson Allen has hit the injury report now as doubtful. So there's an addition there. Not expected to play there for Grayson Allen as a foot. So he hits the injury report late. So that's a big one there for Phoenix. Minnesota and Utah. Anthony Edwards out. Jesse Edwards out. Gobert, Randall out. DiVincenzo questionable. On the Utah side, Markkanen out, but still questionable are Sexton, Collins, and Clarkson. Clippers and Lakers out will be Powell. Out for the Lakers, Hachimura, Kleber. James, Hayes, and Doncic are all listed as questionable. Let me click their links and see what the word is on Luka here. Game time call here. Calf injury management. So that's what's being said here about Luka. There for Luka, there calf injury management already. There for another situation there with James. It's his foot. Remember, the foot cost him the All-Star game. While they're looking at the foot, making sure it probably stinks, but they want to make sure he can play with it. So that's the issue there with his foot. So there we go from the injuries there in that one. Fortunately, our hands aren't forced in these games. So let's get this one underway with Kirk.
Yeah, I don't think Jovan liked that calf injury management when I saw his face. He wasn't a big fan of that one. But yeah, I think it's a tough one to call with all these guys. So that's a stay away. Clippers, Lakers. If LeBron and Doncic both suit up, I would lean towards the Lakers with the points, but also probably stay away. I'm going to take the Jazz here. I just think without Anthony Edwards, I don't know who's going to be scoring for this Timberwolves team. 4.5 points in a game the Jazz might even win outright. I think the points with the Jazz is the moves there. And the Suns are a team that just don't blow teams out. Even we saw this yesterday. Zion was playing yesterday, but they lost by 9 yesterday. Now you want them to win by 10 in this game. I don't think they do that. I'm going to take the points with the Pelicans.
There from Kirk. Next up, we move on over to Rod.
Yeah, I'm looking at this late night slate. I'm looking at a couple dogs. Give me the Raptors here plus the points. They love to beat up on the teams with losing records. They fare well there. So give me the Raptors plus the points there. Pelicans plus 9 for me in that matchup. They've been playing the better ball, even with Zion out there for the Pelicans there. Give me the 9 in that matchup. And then I agree, you got to take the Jazz plus the 4.5 in that matchup. Also lean to the under between the Bulls and the Raptors. We know the Bulls don't play a whole lot of defense, but the last 9 meetings head-to-head between these two teams have all went under the total. So I like the under there. And then Clippers and Lakers. I don't like what I've seen from the Clippers. So trying to lay 4 with the Clippers club that's 0-5 in the last 5. Calendar's turn. They haven't looked good. No chance. So I want to be laying anything with the Clippers there. Lee, at best, I don't want to be rushing to any window with a Lakers team with a bunch of guys as well. So, but at this number, I think I'd have to take the Lakers plus the 4.5 if I had a gun to my head saying, "Here, pick one." Lakers plus 4.
And there from Rod. Next up, we move right on over to Kevin. You're on mute, Kevin.
I think the Utah, if Collins plays, then I wouldn't touch this game because he never gets the memo when it's time to tank. That guy does play hard all the time. Minnesota, though, that kid from Illinois, Terrence Shannon or whatever his name is, junior, that kid's a stud, man. He was a stud for Illinois, and he's putting up numbers now for Minnesota, so I can't bet against him. I think they got young guys that want to step in and play. Give me Minnesota minus the points. I mean, there's a reason it's still minus with all those injuries and Edwards out. And then the Clippers-Lakers, yeah, I would definitely stay away from that game. If I had to pick, I would take the Clippers just because.
There from Kevin.
Of that line move.
From Kevin. Next up, we move right on over to Javon. Got somebody lost him there for a second there. All right. No sound, no video there from Javon. All right, I'll tell you what I think. We can always get back to Javon if we need to. I'll tell you what I think about these games here. I'm looking at the Bulls here. The Bulls have covered every game since coming back from the break. We'll look at Toronto. They've had struggles on the road against these good shooting teams. 6-10 of the spread on the road, facing teams that at 46% or greater. Boy, this Toronto defense right now not in the best form here, even on the road. Let's see, over their past 5 games, give up 50% shooting. They're averaging just 99 points per 100 possessions in their past 4 on the road. So I'll look at the Chicago there in that spot. Look at plus the points here with the Pelicans all day. You look at this Phoenix Suns team against losing teams now 1-9 to the spread against them. As a home favorite, Phoenix 5-16-1, and it's the defense that has been really poor for the Suns team. So I'll look at them in this spot. Pelicans 6-2 to the spread on the road, facing these teams below 500 that have a 400 to 490 win percentage. They've gotten the job done against these type of teams. So I'll look at the Pelicans again in this spot. Have to look at Utah here. They have the rest advantage, a tough back-to-back spot here for Minnesota. Rest disadvantage, playing in high elevation, and they're not shooting the ball very well over their past 5. 42%, 29% from 3. Remember, they've had a history of having trouble making threes. They improved it last year, but this year threes aren't falling for them, and they're not falling right now, I should say, over this past 5-game stretch. I'll look at Utah in that spot. I like the under in the Laker and Clipper game. You look at the Lakers 5-2 to the under in back-to-back games. Their defense has been pretty good form. They've gone under in 5 of 6. Clippers 7-3 the under against the division. You know, the Clippers are a really defensive-minded team. They got Ivica Zubac rebounding hog underneath the basket there for this Clippers team. And I'll look at the under in that spot. All right, let's continue here on the drive-thru as we're ready to switch on over to college hoops. Now as college basketball games have been underway, but in this time slot, we're very heavy with the early slot, so we'll cover the games at 6:30 and include the 7:30 in this block. So you can see we have a lot of Metro Atlantic games, a lot of small conference here in this time slot. There are more Metro Atlantic, Mount St. Mary's, your Riders, your Merrimack. You got some Ivy League there that are going head to head. Here's a good one here in the A10, Davidson and VCU. VCU has been really dominating that league, and they're a big favorite as you'd expect them here. More Ivy here. Here's your 7:30 game, and that's where we'll stop. We'll stop at the 7:30 time frame here. So we'll get this block underway here with Kirk.
Yeah, Penn Cornell was in this time slot, right? Just confirming.
Penn and Cornell, they are.
I'm going to look under in this spot. Penn is just, they struggle to score, and you want each team to score 80-plus in this game. I don't see it. Penn averages 69 points per game this season. Yes, they have played a little bit better in their last 2 games, keeping them close, but before that, they failed to reach 80 in reach 80 in one of their last 10 games. And Cornell scores a lot, but they're decent on defense, so I think maybe we see 85 to 70 towards Cornell, but I don't think we get both teams to get near the 80s, so give me the under in that game.
From Kirk. Okay, we're going to go back to Javon to give us those lots. We forgot to get to him with the late slate in NBA, so back to Javon with the late slate NBA.
I'll make it simple. New Orleans can't consider the Suns in this spot. You know, this is just a broken team as far as I'm concerned. You know, over the hill stars that they want to get traded or know they're gonna get traded or know that they were trying to get traded. Nixon did, trades to a competitor, which was Golden State. He didn't want to go back there. Just a team in disarray. The worst ATS team in the association. You can't back them. I don't care if Zion's not there. The other guys, Trey Murphy III, McCollum, guys like that, they'll get the job done. I trust them way more than I ever trust the Phoenix team. So take the points. If they get blown out, doesn't really, to me it doesn't really matter. I gotta go with the team that's in better form, and that's a team with a 3-game winning streak. I'm on Minnesota. No AE, no problem for me. Terrence Shannon Jr., he's a force. He's gonna play the role of Ant-Man in this one. This is gonna be a game where the ball's spread around to the players that usually don't get that much burn. And they're gonna whoop it up on this Jazz outfit. So it could only be the Wolves for me.
Only the Wolves there for Javon in that game. And Naz Reid is someone who quietly gets things done. No one talks too much about him.
And he had a bad game last game, so look for
Yeah.
him to bounce back. Might want to consider him for points.
There you go from Javon. Back to the first slate of college hoops. Back to Rod. Oh,
Yeah,
sorry.
look at this first.
Yeah,
Look
Rod.
at this first. Yeah, look at the first slate of college hoops action. I agree with the under there in the Penn Quakers and Cornell game. You look at Penn's last 15 road games has produced 154 points or fewer, and this total's at 161.5. We ain't getting that over that. That total's way too high in that one. So I agree. Take the under there. Another one I like Iona and Niagara to go under the total. Both of those squads aren't more like Niagara isn't scoring a whole lot of points. Iona, hey, they can score some points, but not enough to get us over this 138.5. It's just too many. You look at Niagara's last 15 night games against conference opponents has produced 137 or less points. So give us the under in Iona and Niagara. And then the other one I like here is give me Columbia plus the boatload of points in that matchup. It's up to 5, I think, in most places. Princeton covered numbers? No thanks. I don't want to be laying any points with Princeton here. 2-7 on the road, 0-5 against the spread. And you expect them to cover 5 here? Give me Columbia plus the 5 in that matchup.
From Rod. Next up, we move right on over to Kevin.
Yeah, I'm going to give one out for my good buddy Brian Bittler, the contrarian play for him. Sacred Heart, they're 12-15. This line's a -1 against Marist, who is 20-5. Just take Sacred Heart because of that. I mean, they're at home. They have a losing record, and they are laying a point that is as contrarian as you can get in Brian's eyes. So give me Sacred Heart. For me, though, I like Mount St. Mary's. I know they already won this matchup before, but they've won their last 4 conference road games. I think they are trying to win. They're trying to be one of the top in the conference. So give me Mount St. Mary's on the road.
There from Kevin. Next up, we move on over to Javon. You're on mute there, Javon.
We're gonna start off with the Brown Bears.
They're
Just a
already,
situation.
they're already playing right now. Brown already started.
Yeah. What's the score?
It's a close game, about a 1-point game with Harvard. Probably late in this. Probably about 10 minutes left in the game.
Yeah, take Brown.
Okay.
You know, it's basically an even game. Take Brown.
Yeah.
You know, it's just that's the deal. That's the deal with that one. Both of these teams are still fighting for fourth seed in this one. They're on the outside looking in. The loser of this one, is likely not going to have a shot, at catching Cornell. And the better team in my eyes is Brown. So I think they'll pull it out in these last 10 minutes.
3:47 to go. 47-46 Brown.
I like it.
We're at an official timeout, so if you want Brown, get it. Get it now, because they're on an official TV timeout. Sorry about that. Go ahead.
Yep. No, so VCU, it could only be VCU for me. At home, they're the dominant team in the A10, and I think they get it done. Short, sweet, and simple. Davidson is not up to snuff, especially on the road. We're just going to what, the 7:30 games?
This is 7:30, yeah.
All right. And I'm gonna have to lay the wood with Arkansas State. It's late in the season. I know it's a big spread, but these are the situations where you just lay it and let the chips fall where they may. They're the far better team in this conference, so I expect for them to get it done.
From Javon. Next up, I'll tell you what I think here about these early starts. Only one I like here in this spot is Davidson and VCU over the total. Davidson has shot the ball away from home, but they do give a 46% shooting, going over in 7 of 12 away from the home court. VCU's gone over in 10 of 15 in conference play with good shooting. This is a VCU team that's number 1 in offensive efficiency in the conference. They hit their threes, they hit their twos, they make their free throws. I like the over in that one. Let's continue here on the drive-through. As you're ready to continue here with the college hoops card, we'll conclude it here with these final games. 8 Eastern time. You can see Sun Belt action here for you in that time zone. Some more Sun Belt coming in. UCLA Purdue is your big one tonight on Fox. Purdue 5.5, total 138.5. We've got Texas State, James Madison, more Sun Belt. We got some Troy in action here, Sun Belt. Iowa Northwestern on FS1 tonight. Northwestern 4.5 there, total 151. We got some action in there as well for you. Here's your late night game, super late night, 11 Eastern. Nevada and UNLV. And Nevada has creeped up. This was 1.5 for most of the day. Nevada now up to -2 on the road. Total 133.5. We get this block underway with Kirk. You're on mute there, Kirk.
Yeah, and this one I'm going to look here at UCLA plus the points. Purdue lost 4 in a row. UCLA's been playing pretty good. They're 3-2 in their last 5, but none of those 2 losses have been by more than 5 points. I think they keep it within a couple possessions here, if not win outright. So I'll take UCLA plus the points in this time slot.
Here from Kirk. Next up, we move right on over to Rod.
Yeah, for me in this time slot of games, I'm looking at a couple here I like in this time slot. The first one I'm looking at is Iowa and Northwestern. I like the over in this one. You look at Iowa's defense on the road; it hasn't been good, giving up over 50% field goal shooting. And you look at Iowa's last 7 on a Friday night versus a conference opponent, 151 plus points, so over the 150.5 there in that one. You're definitely probably cruising to the 160s there. Another one I'm looking at here in that one is look at. Where is it? Give me Kent State here, taking on Akron. I think it's too many points. It's come down a little bit now. I still like it, the over possession with Kent State and the Flashers there. It's going to come right down to the wire. I think Kent State gives that Akron all they can handle and then some in that matchup. I'd even sprinkle on the money line that Kent State outrights Akron in that one. And then I'm looking at that one and up. I'll take UNLV as the dog there in that matchup. They're just playing the better basketball. 4-1 straight up, 10-5 at home straight up. Definitely leaning to the money line as well. Trusting Nevada on the road. I don't want to be doing that. 3-6 against that number. Trust Steve of Alford. No, thank you. Can't do that. I'll take the UNLV. I know they haven't been great, but at home, 10-5 straight up. Give me UNLV in that one.
Yeah, from Rod. Next up, we move on over to Kevin.
James Madison already secured the Sun Belt. If they could win this one against Texas State, I think they finished number 1, but they're already locked in. They can give their coach most wins so far, but that's a lot of pressure. I'm sure they celebrated when they pretty much locked up the Sun Belt. So Texas State, there's a reason this is +1 for a 15-15 team. Give me Texas State. And then the other one was Iowa, Northwestern. Northwestern, 2 big upset wins, beating Ohio State, Minnesota on the road. Last meeting between these two, 79-80 in Iowa. We all know Freeman's been out for Iowa since then. But this is a big game. Sanford had a huge game against Northwestern in that 79-80 beating. So I think Iowa can cover this spread. I mean, it's all in now. All the chips are in for these teams. It's rare when a team comes off of a conference road wins and then they're at home. So I could see a little bit of a letdown here. So I think Iowa can backdoor cover this thing. They're going to be heaving up threes from everywhere.
There from Kevin. Next up, we move right on over to Javon.
Yeah, we're going to look at this Georgia State, Georgia Southern game, rivalry game. Last game of the season for both. And, that means a senior night for the folks in Georgia Southern. With that said, I think this is going to be a close game. I'll take the underdog in this one. We've seen battles between these two, not only in basketball but in football through the years. And I think that it's going to hover around 6, 7, 4, somewhere around there. It's gonna be there, late in this ball game. So do you got the stomach to to take the points? Knowing that, I personally will. I'll put it on a parlay. You know what I'm saying? There'll be a parlay piece for me. So I'm gonna take the points. Hold on. I'm gonna roll with Marshall. These two teams played on Saturday. I saw the result of that. I saw a Marshall team on the road give it to the Mountaineers, and I think they're going to do it at home in this one. I don't think there's any bounce back, spots for the Mountaineers. I just don't. Looking at those two teams and what they did, I've seen it too many times with App State where they kind of folded, in certain situations. And mainly at home is when I had my eyes on them. On the road, I don't think they get it done. And they've been a popular pick today. So I'm gonna be on the Thunder and Herd, and I'm on Akron. Akron, the Zips, they're just a cut above in the MAC. They've been smacking teams up. They haven't been covering, but that's because they've been facing inflated lines. This is an inflated line. This is some could say a short line, but they're just a better team, far and away, and I expect them to get it done.
From Javon. All right, tell you what I think here about these games. Here, I'm going to look here at UCLA as well. I don't really go with them on the road, but this Purdue team has just really played horrible defense of late over their past 5 games, getting a 51% shooting. Teams have figured out this Purdue team, just go to the paint. Purdue in the Big Ten is giving up 59% shooting from 2. So just get inside the paint against them, you'll have success. Bruins in great offensive and defensive form coming into this game, covering 4 of their past 5. I'll look at UCLA in that spot. As well, I agree with Javon. I like Akron here to get the cover here. Zips are in very good shooting form over the past 5, 51%. And Kent in the MAC, they turn the ball over, and they're not a good 3-point shooting team. So I'll look at Akron in that spot. Agree with Rod here. Give me UNLV plus the points. This Nevada team has just underperformed for most of the season here. This was an experienced team coming back, and they just not delivered in my book. Rebels are in really good defensive form over their past 5 games, giving up just over 37% shooting. Wolfpack not in really good shooting form. In conference play, they failed to cover 11 of 17. They're 3-6 of the spread on the road. I'll look at the Rebels in this spot. All right, let's continue here on the drive-thru. As we continue here on the show, we'll move on over to the NHL for you right now. There's a limited card tonight on the ice here, as we normally do on a Friday. Of course, we know the Saturdays when the big card will be. So let's take a look at the games here on the board NHL for tonight. Maple Leafs and Rangers. Maple Leafs $1.13, total of 6. Also, we got Kings and Stars. The Stars $1.25, total of 5.5. Tonight we got Wild and Avalanche. The Avs, big favorites, $3.30, total 6. We get this one underway here with Kirk.
Not tonight.
No ice tonight. Next up, we move on over to Rod.
For me, looking at this slate of games tonight, tough card. A lot of these hockey clubs have played a lot of hockey this week with the return of the Four Nations, double out spots, back-to-back spots, 3 and 4 night spots. You look at this Minnesota Wild team dealing with injuries, 3 and 4 night spots, so I've leaned to the Avs in that matchup. That line skyrocketed since this morning. But the big news of the one that I'm looking at here for everybody, nice little plus money dog, and that's Tony's Kings. You look at the news. Drew Doughty missed the last game for the Los Angeles Kings, but he'll be back in there tonight for the Kings in this one, and he's the leader of that club. He gets back in there. They get up for these games. They kept Kemper back just for this spot. Riddick played the last game for the Kings. It was a loss. The Canucks got him 3-2 there in that one. I think they might have been looking forward to beating up Dallas. They've already beat Dallas twice, though. That's the only part that scares me a little bit. They beat Dallas twice already this season, and they make it 3. It's tough to beat the same team 3 times in a row, but I'm going to go with the Kings and the plus price to do it. Give me the Kings on the money line in that one.
From Rod. Next up, we move on over to Kevin.
Yeah, the Stars haven't played at home since February 2nd. I think it's going to be a defensive battle. I'm going to take the under 5.5 there in that Stars-Kings game.
There from Kevin. All right, we got you through the NHL segment here. Now it's time. Let's take a look at our Parlay Peripheral segment where our cappers can give out a parlay, can give out a player prop, team prop, game of the future. We got nighttime baseball tonight in exhibition coming up. I think Ohtani makes his debut here. Dodgers, Angels coming up. So, our game for tomorrow from College Hoops. It's up to the cap. We got lines. We had lines up there come earlier now. I think around 4 Eastern time, I was seeing college basketball lines with some big matchups tomorrow. SEC, Alabama, Auburn in action. Some big games tomorrow in College Hoops. So we'll leave it up to the capper. They make the call. So we get this one underway here with Kirk.
Yeah, I'll give you a soccer parlay for tomorrow. Leverkusen on the money line, Gladbach on the money line, and Wolfsburg on the money line. All 3 of them.
They're here from Kirk. Next up, we move on over to Rod.
Yeah, I'll give you 2. Do the for tomorrow's actually. I'm going to give you a 2-teamer. Take the Miami Hurricanes Taking North Carolina. North Carolina 17.5 points favored. I don't think so. Give me the Miami Hurricanes plus a 17.5 in that one tomorrow. And then just because I'm wearing the hat, take Clemson on the road going into Virginia. Should be a pretty good game. But Clemson's a better squad. They win by 10 plus in that one. Little two-teamer for you for tomorrow's early slate of college basketball action.
Yeah, from Rod. Next up, we move on over to Kevin.
We're going to take Sacred Heart -1. We'll take Texas State +1.5. And we'll go back to that prop of Day'Ron Sharp over 17.5 points plus rebounds plus assists.
Yeah, from Kevin. Next up, we move on over to Javon.
Fly, Pelicans, fly.
There we go.
And we dancing with wolves. Two-teamer.
Two-teamer there from Javon. All right, I'll tell you what I like here from tonight. I'll give you a two-teamer here. I'd like UCLA plus the points and Northwestern minus there from College Hoops. All right, we got you through our parlay segment. Now let's see what the Cappers have for sale over at Pick Dawgz. We have a big weekend of action from college basketball, NBA as well. Action on the ice as well for this weekend. So let's take a look here at what Kirk's got going on over at Pick Dawgz. Awful soccer there from Kirk. Kirk, so what's happening over at Pick Dawgz? We've been pretty well the last 7 days.
Yeah, I mean, big soccer day ahead. I already got 7 plays loaded. Have some NBA, have some college ball, so maybe even some ice. We'll see. Big slate tomorrow, so we'll see what happens.
Very good. Get on board with Kirk over at Pick Dawgz. You guys like that 3-day all sports pass here with this big weekend up? You may consider that. Let's see what Kevin has to say over at Pick Dawgz. Kevin Thomas been sharp here in college hoops for the year.
I still got my college basketball buckets up. That's $19, and then my NBA slam dunk. 3 days, you're going to get lots of action for Saturday, Sunday, and it'll roll into Monday. So that's a great deal. But the 2-for-1 capper deal, partner me up on any of these great handicappers here or over at the Pick Dawgz, the whole list of handicappers. You know what I mean.
Yeah, very good, guys. So get on board with Kevin Thomas over at Pick Dawgz. Remember the promo code PICK at checkout. We'll save you that 15% off. Let's see what Javon has for sale over at Pick Dawgz. Javon, great numbers here in the NBA for the season.
Yeah, I got a 3-pack in the NBA. Got one standalone play also in the NBA, and I got a standalone college basketball play up on the board as well. Check me out with something long-term, 3-day, 7-day, 30-day, yearly, or match me up with one of the other handicappers for the multi-capper promotional. Can't go wrong here. Sports Chat Place and Pick Dawgz. Let's get it.
Get it on board with Javon Burtz over at Pick Dawgz Premium. We'll see what Rod has for sale over at Pick Dawgz Premium. Rod's been red hot over the last 7.
Yeah, definitely been hot in the college basketball. I've hit 7 straight on my college basketball slam dunk play of the day. So go for our 8th straight there. Definitely you can scoop that up singly, or it's included in the college basketball slam dunk triple that I've got going. We're on a nice 23-10 run this week in college basketball. You can go all the way back and look 90 days of winning in college basketball. So heating up as we head into the calendar flip tomorrow into March. So excited for that. NBA, I'm not a big volume guy in the NBA, but when I do, we've been good. We're 6-2 this week in the NBA. Got my NBA drop a dime play. Or all those plays are included into the Steak Friday 5-pack, where you get the college basketball triple, my NBA drop a dime play, and I'll throw my NHL play in there as well. And as Kevin alluded to, that 3-day pass is the best way to go here on the weekend. Pair me and Kevin up. We've been hot in college basketball. Look at what his has done this week. 11-1. He's just being humble about it. So look at Kevin's been hot as well. Combine us together for a nice big win and weekend. 34-11 over the last week in college basketball combined. Take advantage of that 2-for-1 capper promotional, 3-for-1, 4-for-1. Pair us all up. Let's have a big weekend together here at Pick Dawgz, the Sports Shop Place.
Very good. Guy on board with Rod over at Pick Dawgz, a premium right now. All right, I've got a best bet on the board right now over at Pick Dawgz Premium. Right now, my 3-pack went off with the early action in college hoops. But if you get my long-term pass, you've got some more picks in there for the members areas for the long-term subscribers here. If you get that 3-day pass, you get all of my premium plays for the Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. A lot of hoops going on, so get on board with me over at Pick Dawgz Premium. Promo code PICK at checkout will save you that 15%. Multi-capper promotions will match you up with any of your favorite cappers here on the multi-capper promotion. Greater value there. Remember, for those of you looking at the 1-month pass, that's going to cover the first week of the NCAA tournament, all the conference action as well in the conference tournaments, and first week of NCAA tournament with that 1-month all sports pass, because tomorrow it's March 1st. So it's the time to get that 1-month all pass. All right. We got you through the show, guys. We're back here Monday with you live here at 6 p.m. Eastern time, so make sure you guys tune in. Let's see what's going on over at the Pick Dawgz YouTube channel. Shows on the weekend, a lot of content, featured content as well. I know, Kevin, you put content up there on the YouTube channel.
Every day, Tony, I do a pick and a prop every night, so make sure to check that out. Subscribe, leave a thumbs up, and comments. If I'm doing something wrong, let me know.
Very good. From Kevin. Of course, Rod, pretty much a regular here on the drive-thru, and you're also chip in on the weekend shows.
Yeah, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday. You catch me here on the drive-thru, and on Sundays you'll see me on the weekend show. So definitely tune into those, and let's get you some winners.
And some winners need. Of course, Kirk, I know, see you a lot of content up there in the soccer because we're kind of in the middle of the big action there from Europe.
Yeah, getting pretty crazy. Some good races. Champions League round of 16 starts next Tuesday, so a lot of big matchups. We got Madrid versus Madrid, Leverkusen Bayern. So we'll have free picks for all those, me, Lauren, and Jack. So make sure to check out that video series over there.
Got the video series there from Kirk over at Pick Dawgz YouTube channel. Javon, you're also a contributor on the YouTube channel with your Parlay series, and they can catch you here on the drive-thru as well as on weekends.
Yeah, got another one up on the board tonight. Check that out. Another 2-teamer. Depending on what number you got it at, you might have hit yesterday. You definitely hit the night before in the 2-team parlay, or you just missed out yesterday. So one of them was a smash. It was Seattle. The other one was, what the hell was it? I forget. But whatever it was, either a half point off, a push, or you might have won if you got a better number. So
looks like you're a Brown
yeah,
one.
check it out.
There you
Oh
go.
yeah, and I'm on the I'm on the morning show Saturday, Sunday per usual, and back here on the drive-thru Monday.
Yeah, Brown has gone final. Brown with the win, 59-52 is your final there.
Oh, yeah.
So that's a good
Free
one.
money.
Free money there, there from Javon.
Dartmouth, if you had Dartmouth this morning, plus the big boatload, they didn't cover. We knew Yale was already had their spot wrapped up too in that one. Dartmouth covered. Yale got the win, but Dartmouth got the cover.
Dartmouth got the cover.
Finished up.
Yeah, that was a good angle there. If you keep an eye on those Ivies, only the top 4 teams in the Ivy Leagues play in their conference tournament. And Dartmouth is one of those teams battling. And if Dartmouth was one of the sharp plays today, because Yale's are at 11-0 in conference. They already clinched their spot. They're taken into the Ivy tournament. And Dartmouth there is trying to battle for a spot in there. So taking the points was a sharp play there. All right, that's going to do it for this edition of the drive-thru. We're back again here on Monday. So make sure you like, subscribe, and set those notifications. Be live with us to get the plays. All right, that'll do it. Before we go, anybody have anything to say in closing before we go?
Kirk, you turn your hat this way when you're in the shower to wash your face, but you're going to have to turn it back to wash your ass. Just remember that so you can get that all good and keep the hat on.
Yes,
and
sir.
That way for the nuts too.
Yes, sir. Will do.
They do. Some good advice there from Kevin. All right, that'll do it for this edition of the drive-thru. We're back again here on Monday. Going to wave goodbye to you guys. You guys making a winning night.